is the history of Big Spring in Sharps Chapel, Union County, Tennessee, on Chuck Swan. Under the lake, another community all but forgotten over time. Now, I know a lot of people watch these videos around the world, and they'll wonder, well, where's Tennessee and where's Sharps Chapel? What are you talking about? Well, this is Sharps Chapel in East Tennessee, Union County. Marked here in the X is Big Spring. And here's a map of Norris Lake. It makes up two rivers, Powell to the north, Clinch to the south. And there's Chuck Swan and Sharps Chapel dead center. Now I'll zoom down here. And what we're talking about is Big Spring, another part of this area, another community it's under the lake when they built, TBA built this Norris Lake. Big old lake here. To the left is Lewiston Sea, to the right is Lost Creek, and marked in the X is Big Springs community. It was a thriving place at one time before they built this dam and flooded all the waterways up through here and all these little communities. This is just another community. Here's a TBA archives map of Lewiston Sea. And the reason it's called Lewiston is because the city of Lewiston is sunken under this lake. Right here's the location of it. Whole thriving community. Up in the aerial view of Big Springs, looking out. And I'll show you a better picture right here. Marked it. There's Lewiston to the right, Smoky Mountains in the distance, Big Ridge State Park is right across the lake, and there's the old bridge, the old Lewiston Bridge there that shows on the map. This is a major fairway coming out of Big Springs to Lewiston back in the day before the lake. Now you pan to the left here, you can see the river channel, and you can see Lost Creek. And I'll draw it in for you. There marked in the white is the river channel before they built the lake. But the lake made it more than a river channel. It flooded all these valleys up through here. A lot of farmland and homes. Now this is Big Spring. We're heading up it. You wouldn't think there'd be nothing in this old place. Don't look like nothing but just another holler and a lake and the water dam. Now here's a better aerial view of it. But there's a lot of history here. This was a thriving little community at one time with a major road coming through here. And you take these old archive maps here like this shows all the locations of everybody's homes and their properties. And you take it and overlap the old aerial map with the property maps. Here's what was here at one time. A lot of stuff here that's gone. Most of it's under the water, but some of it's not. Here's the old track maps, location of all the structures and everything over time, all but forgotten about. Now this place was a thriving little community, like I said, and this was basically the Hills. The Hill brothers here. They had all kinds of little businesses going on here. Sherman Hill and his brother Newton Hill. This is a photo of them from 1930. And they had all kinds of little businesses going on here. The first one I'll show you here, from this aerial view, looking at it, is the Tennessee Marble Quarry. Newton Hill had a little quarry right here, right above the lake. Here's a picture of it. This was a thriving business at one time, till TBA brought it out, tore the bridge down, and it's just here lost in time. But I'll make a better video on this just by itself, the Tennessee Marble Quarry. But I'll show you a little glimpses of it here. This is a thriving business. This quarry This Tennessee marble is the only place in the world in East Tennessee is this certain kind of marble. Now here's a picture of it, of what the slabs look like. They take these and polish them, and they've shipped them all around the world, especially in the capitals, and the state capitals, country's capital, and everything. Well, there you go. I'll make a better video on that by itself. And we'll move on here. The next little thing I'll show you is the Big Springs Baptist Church, marked here in the X, the location of it. And here's the old property maps to it, where it actually was, and who owned the land. I reckon Newton donated the land for this church way back. And here's what's left of it, what I could find. There's the steps, left and right steps. Now the left steps look like they're pretty rough. I don't know what's happened to them over time. But that's all that's left of them. In the summertime, you don't even know they're there. You couldn't see them. But this is fall. Concrete steps from long ago. There's the church. Big Springs Baptist Church. That's what she looked like. Here's another view from a different angle. That's the church. The whole community served this church. And the reverend of this church was Reverend John Davis Walker and his wife Margaret. They lived up to the head of the holler here. They was the reverend and pastor of this church. And here's their home, on up the head of little Big Springs there. This is their home. The lake never come up to this, but TBA acquired all the land. It's on Chuck Swan. Here's a better picture of their house, them sitting on the porch back in the early 30s. You can see it here, I'll mark it there. Right there in the X is about the location of their home. Head of Big Spring. And not far from there, there's a Big Spring school was there. Back before all this lake and stuff took it over. Big Spring School. Here's a picture of some of the students there in 1923. It wasn't too far from J.D. Walker's home. Next is a Sherman Hill grist mill. Now it is, well, it's not there, they tore it down. But it was right here marked in the X. It's under the lake. I'd say the foundation of it. Here's a picture of it. Notice the big old wheel on this one and the raceway going to it, coming off that Big Spring Creek. Now there is it. Now we'll show you what I have What I have got here is Newton Hill home site, marked in X, and the CCC barracks, marked in X. And a lot of people ask, say, what is this CCC? You mentioned it a lot in the old video. Well, what this was, is something that the government set up in the early 30s. It's for Citizens Conservation Corps. And these were young men that went all around before World War II, and they done work all around the country for parks, forestry, cities, just infrastructure throughout the country. That's what that stands for. Now here in Big Springs, there's the barracks they built. They built these barracks all over the place where they tore down all these places that the government acquired the land. But Newton's house is still right there on the left. We'll zoom down on it. I have no pictures of what I've got is what I've got. I don't have just the pictures of the homes and the stores. And you could see them in the background there. But that's all at the edge or end of the lake right there. Here's what's left of Newton's home that I could find. The water up at its highest peak is right lapping at the foundation. It's right on the edge when the water's up at its full stage. And this is what's left of it that I could see. The old foundation. And this was a nice home, according to looking at that picture. There's the steps. I don't know if the front door, the back door. That's all that's left of it. The lake just comes up to the edge of it at its highest peak. And we look at it again here. There's Sherman Hill's store. That's the location of it. But I have no pictures of it. But I'll show you the pictures of the foundation and the old rock walls and the old road bed there. See it right here? It's just right across from Newton's house foundation. Old hand-laid rock, not brick, it's just rock. I don't know if it's a fence, foundations, road bed. I don't have enough documentation to make that decision. A lot of hand-laid rock. They'd done a lot of scrounging to pile up them rocks, didn't they, over time? Well, this is all that's left. I don't have any good pictures of it. Looks like an old foundation there above it. It's just old limestone flat rock that they've gathered up and built these foundations or rock walls. And the lake's up over it most of the time. So your guess is as good as mine. As years go on, people will wonder. Well, I did find a piece of coal here. Picked it up here at these rocks. So evidently they burnt coal here in their stoves and stuff. But it makes me wonder, being an old miner, where was that mined at? Well, another picture. Here's something here. Now, when the CCC come in here, or TVA, they started doing some core drilling for checking for fault lines and the foundation and the limestone and all that stuff. And they drilled 1,400 foot here, they said. And they hit an artesian well under pressure. So there was a lot of water coming up there. And it's said that Sherman Hill piped his water into his house with this well until the lake made him take his, they tore his house down. But there's a picture of it. And here's some of the locations of the structures and everything here from Sherman Hill's property. Of his barn, house, mill, stables, outhouse, cemetery, road bed, everything. A lot of history laying here that's no longer here, or it's under the lake. And there's another one just above that, going up the holler, is a Mandalay Ferris property. There was another mill there. It was above Sherman Hill's mill. So there was two mills in this holler. Two mills. This one here shows all kinds of little structures. Plus it shows apple orchards and stuff. It even shows the Hill Cemetery. Now there is an older cemetery that I wasn't able to find that's on the map, but I know it's there. Now this is the Hill Cemetery, the newer one, and it's a really old one itself. This was probably late 1800s, early 1900s, up till the lake took it. You can only get here when the water's down. There's a little bridge. But when the lake's up full stage, you can't get over here. And there's so many. So many old graves here. Just sunken places, a lot of them. You can see the Hill family here. But I reckon Sherman and Newton Hill is buried in Knoxville in Amherst Cemetery there on Broadway. That's where they're buried. But I noticed in these old cemeteries, like so many others, it's so full of little babies. So full of them. Everywhere you look. A lot of them don't have no stones at all. Our forefathers, these pioneers, worked so hard all their life. And I hope they're not forgotten. Now this place, it looks just like any other place, any holler, but you don't know what's hidden under the lake over time. Here's some old pictures from TVA archives, back when they had to drain the lake, back in 1940 to do some repairs. They dropped it real low. There you see the old road bed. Here's a better picture. You can see the old road bed there for good on the right, and you can see the old cornfields here. You can see the corn stalks here. Well, they've been under the lake about 4 years. Well, anyway, there's so much history here that's gone and almost forgotten. In another generation, it will be forgotten if it's not documented. So I'm just trying to show our history, one piece at a time. So, I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.